This video is for the girl who knew exactly what she wanted before anyone around her could understand it. Today we'll be talking about Monica Wright, and I'm going to use her story to talk to you as well. If this is your first video, hello. Thank you so much for being here. I am the Black woman behind the coloring room. Today's video is going to be focused on love and basketball. I really want to focus on Monica for this video, and honestly, Monica deserves the spotlight. I'm not focusing on Quincy. He will get a video, but Monica, this video is for her. Okay. The book I'm coloring from today is my Girl Talk coloring book. Every page in this book is a love letter to a different version of you. This page says, "For the girl who no longer tiptoes around her power." Links are in the description if you want to grab your own copy and color along with me. Monica Wright is played by Kyla Pratt as a kid and Sanaa Lathan as an adult. And from the very first time we meet her, she already knows who she is. She plays basketball. That's her identity from the time that she's 11. And what I like that this movie doesn't do is punish her for that, at least not yet. What this movie does instead is just sets this up as a fact. It's just who Monica is. And I think the reason why this movie is able to do that is because of the director, Gina Prince Bythewood. I'll put her name on the screen. Former athlete herself, and that matters because when you have someone behind the camera who actually understands what it feels like to be that girl, one who loves something that the world keeps telling her isn't really for her, it shows up in how Monica is filmed. Her focus isn't framed as a problem that needs to be solved, it's just who she is. And Gina, she understood that. I don't want to go too deep into this movie for this video, but I gotta run this scene back because it really gives us another clue into who Monica is, even at that young age. And more importantly, this scene gives us our first look at how the world is gonna spend the rest of this movie, trying to change Monica's mind about who she is, what she wants, and how she should show up. When we first meet Monica and Quincy, who is played by Glendon Chapman when he is his younger version, we see that Quincy wants Monica to ride on his bike. And Monica says no, and it isn't because she's trying to be difficult or she doesn't like him, but because she has her own bike, and why would she need to ride on hers if she already has her own bike? And as a viewer, more than likely, you were older than the kids that we saw on screen, so we can recognize what's happening, right? Quincy likes Monica. And at this point, I don't think Quincy is intentionally being mean to Monica when he suggests that to her. I just think that he can't genuinely understand why Monica wouldn't want to ride on his bike. He already has a bike and he knows that she has a bike, but in his mind, riding with him should be the better option. But from Monica's perspective, she's perfectly capable of getting there on her own. And it's from this moment that Gina prepares us for what Monica will continue to have to deal with for the entire movie. We watch over and over again through different situations and people asking Monica to get on their bike instead of just riding her own. They expect her to put down what she already has and make herself smaller. And every single time, Monica has to decide whether she's gonna do it or not. I feel like this movie is so important to many Black women, including myself, because we understand how people in our lives, even people who love us, sometimes will ask us to want less. And this version of Monica that we see before the world tries to change when she's younger, in my opinion, is who Gina is trying to protect. And Gina is the director. By this point, we already know who Monica is, but it's after we learn who she is that the film adds different situations to show us how many different ways the world will ask you to be someone else, ask you to be a little bit smaller or fit into a box. And then Gina shows us what it actually costs to say no every single time. And the first way the movie does this is through double standards. So naturally, the ambitious girl grew up to be an ambitious woman. But the things that the film highlights about Monica, like her intensity on the court, her aggression, or the time she just doesn't back down, it's all framed as a negative. But wouldn't you know, those are the exact same things that make Quincy such a great player. When he's intense, he gets celebrated. Coaches recruit him for his aggression. People expect that type of energy from Quincy. For Monica, she has to fight for a scholarship that Quincy just receives. Once she gets to USC, she continues to have to fight for playing time. We see that she gets into it with her coach because of how she carries herself. And honestly, it's just because she makes other people uncomfortable because of how she chooses to play. The same thing that would make her legendary if she were a man is what gets her benched as a woman. And I love that Gina goes between scenes of women playing ball and men. The games with the men are packed out. It's loud, has high energy, it's full of people who showed up specifically to watch them. The women's games are in smaller gyms with barely anyone in the seats. It's the same sport, same level of dedication and sacrifice. And it's at this point that we see the same question being asked. Should Monica put down her bike? It seems like the world has already decided which bike matters more. Maybe she should just get with the program. But thank God at that point she doesn't. She just keeps going and fighting for playing time even when no one is watching. And I think of every woman who has experienced this in some way, who worked harder than most and still had to watch someone else get recognized. The same things that you get complimented for is what someone else gets promoted or recognized for. But before I continue, let me just say, the room not being built for you is not a reflection of your ability. But I think we already know that at this point. There's a moment that we all remember from this movie where Quincy asks Monica to choose, pretty much, okay? This is when they're in college. She's finally where she's been working towards her whole life. And Quincy is going through something with his family and he needs her there. And Monica has a curfew and she keeps it. He never really forgives her for that. And I'll be addressing Quincy in another video because it's really not much about him as it is about what we expect from ambitious Black women when the people they love need something from them. I have lots of thoughts on that. That video is coming, but right now I want to stay with Monica. This scene, even though it's about them, isn't really about what she did to Quincy. It's about what she refused to do to herself. She kept the curfew because she was a basketball player. Monica was being exactly who she told you she was from the very first scene. But that decision, even though Monica would have never asked the same of Quincy, caused them to break up. But she just keeps going. She moves to Barcelona to play overseas because the WNBA didn't exist yet, and that was the only professional option available to her. And she becomes a star there. She wins a championship. I feel like there's something to be said about being in spaces where you can actually blossom and bloom, but it's another story for another day, okay? I say this time and time again, she should have stayed overseas, but she comes back home to find there's still no professional women's league in America waiting for her. It's at this point where she puts down her bike. She lets go of her dream and takes the bank job. She tries to fit herself into a life that doesn't have basketball in it. And we can see how wrong that is for her as we're watching it. But I also think that this gives us another lesson that we can learn from, because Monica knew who she was. She always knew what she wanted, but it didn't mean that it was always going to be easy for her. And that knowing, even if you're not currently doing what it is that you see yourself doing, will never really go away, even if what you're doing makes everyone else around you happy. Thankfully, Monica realizes this, but what I also love about this part of the movie is that it shows her going back to the thing she knows was always for her. Even if she put down her dream for a little bit, she never lost it. She didn't fail because she tried something different. She just returned to what she knew she was supposed to do once she gained clarity. Another thing that I realized as I was watching this unfold is that your dream, or that version of yourself that others don't always make space for, will wait for you until you decide to come back to it. A little fun fact about the end of this movie is that Gina rewrote it on purpose. She wanted to show that Monica could have it all. She didn't have to pick between her career or her love life. She could have her cake and eat it too. At the end of the movie, we see that Monica is finally playing professional basketball in her hometown. She's living the exact dream she had when she was 11, and Quincy is in the stands, holding their daughter, cheering for her, not the other way around. Her on the court, him in the stands. And that's one of the reasons why this film matters to me. Not so much because of the love story, but because someone made a deliberate decision to show a Black woman fully in her element, with ambition, who still got to be loved for exactly who she is without giving anything up to get there. That ending wasn't an accident. Gina made sure that it was there so that somewhere a Black woman watching the movie would know that she doesn't have to choose, and you never did either. It's funny because when I launched my Girl Talk coloring book, every page was a love letter to women. It was simple images that carried a deeper meaning. For me personally, I've struggled to see how my books could reach Black women and girls because the coloring space is a place where most people color to relax, but I color to remember. Every book I've created has always been to help other women remember as well, even with all of the messiness of this movie, because Love and Basketball is not a perfect movie at all. But Monica, her story is a reminder that some of us really need to remember. Maybe your dream looks completely different from Monica's. Maybe it's a business, a creative career, a position no one in your family has ever had before. And maybe there was a moment that made you put your dream down, made you put whatever vision you had down and become smaller, or tell yourself that it was fine. I want you to know that I understand, and I'm not saying that from a place where I have it figured out, because I don't. I'm still on my bike, barely hanging on at times, and I have gotten off of it more times than I want to admit. I'm still figuring out what it looks like to build something that was always in my head and make it real. This channel, these books, and this whole room I'm trying to create for Black women, you're watching it unfold with me, but I keep going because I already know who I am, even on the days where it's hard or it's definitely not easy. And that's what I want for you as well. I can't guarantee that it's all gonna work out the way that you planned, but whatever your dream is, it's still yours. It's just been waiting for you to come back to it. Starting this YouTube channel was not something I saw for myself initially, but creating a space for Black women to see themselves fully was something I just couldn't walk away from. And if you like this video, it's because this channel was made for you. So subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.